please, please, you heard the mayor beg, I'm begging, stay home. If you are trying to get in the city of Buffalo, please stay out unless you're emergency personnel, unless you're a first responder, unless you're authorized in an emergency situation, because it still is really treacherous out there and difficult conditions.
A limb comes down, takes to power lines, on the ground. It is dangerous even for the utility crews to approach that in blinding snowstorms, so it's not going to be immediate. And that is why we're asking people to be safe at home, but I know there could be some very cold circumstances where people don't have the power they need to keep themselves, keep their refrigerator on, keep the stoves on, so it's going to be dangerous.
Just coming into our newsroom moments ago, a judge sentencing the convicted ringleader in the kidnapping plot against Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Adam Fox was facing up to life behind bars. The judge sentenced him to 16 years in federal prison for conspiring to abduct and kill Whitmer and for planning to blow up bridges as part of his escape plan. Fox and his fellow conspirator, Barry Croft, were convicted in August for leading the abduction plot just before the 2020 presidential election. Croft's sentencing is set for tomorrow. Joining me now, MSNBC legal analyst Danny Savalos. Thanks, Danny. I know we've just gotten this in, but walk us through this decision, 16 years for Adam Fox. What did the judge have to consider here?
16 years is a really good outcome for Adam Fox because his sentencing guidelines, and these are a complex formula that takes into account all of these factors of the crime, where it starts out by calculating the base offense level and then the person's criminal history. It spits out a number, but then you have all of these aggravating factors. And Adam Fox had so many of them that the recommended sentence guideline range was life. It was the highest that you could get in federal court. But since about 2004, I think the year was, the Supreme Court rendered these sentencing guidelines advisory only. So the judge has to calculate them, but the judge is not bound by them. So really anything under a life sentence for Adam Fox was a win. A sentence like this is a huge win. It may not feel that way for the defendant. Of course, it never does. And especially in federal court, where you're really going to do most of your time. You're going to get about a 15% reduction for each year for good time. But there is no parole system in the federal prisons. So you're going to have to do most of your time, that actual 16 years. It's not like he's going to get out in 3 because of overcrowding. When you're in federal prison, you're mostly there for the duration.
Help us put it into kind of a big picture context, Daddy. This has been called the largest domestic terrorism case in a generation. How important is the argument that sentencing needs to send a message against what we all know is a growing threat of domestic extremism?
Well, that's what the government argued in their sentencing memorandum. Maybe they made the point that there is almost every possible aggravating factor is here. 5 or more people. You have the very rarely used terrorism enhancement. You have a ringleader enhancement. You have so many different things that drag this case up to a case of the highest level of severity. And one of the things also to point out is that whether it's terrorism or bank robbery, an incomplete conspiracy, in other words, a conspiracy that fails, still has to be punished in the American system, because obviously we don't want to give people a break just because they're bad at planning or unsuccessful, or the government, law enforcement, stops the crime before it happens. So we absolutely punish conspiracies and attempts, even if they haven't completed the object of the conspiracy. But I mean, the terrorism enhancement, along with all the other enhancements, made Adam Fox a really good candidate, or any defendant, even if they were a first-time offender. This has happened before in terrorism cases. Somebody with 0 criminal history gets a life sentence. So you could really say that Fox here dodged a bullet if he's only going to spend any number of years in prison.
breaking news on the Supreme Court, obviously, for these hearings. He's a House Homeland Security member, Florida Republican, Congressman Carlos Jimenez. I want to get your reaction. The U.S. Supreme Court putting that, keeping Title 42 in place, and they're going to hear in February oral arguments on the merits of this case. I want to get your initial reaction to that.
Well, that's really good news, but I don't take too much from it. Look, you had a 7-to-1 release rate. So for every one person that's sent back for Title 42, you've got 7 people that are released into the United States. So don't take too much of this whole thing with Title 42. It's good. It's better than nothing. But the whole problem is actually the policies that have been implemented by the Biden administration and that have caused this tremendous influx and continue to allow thousands and thousands and thousands of illegal immigrants into our country. Like you said, more than 5 million in the last 2 years.
Yeah, and this is a decision, I just want to get this out there, that's 5-4. And the justices, in order to keep this Title 42 in effect, again, they're going to hear in February those arguments. So do you think that the Homeland Security Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas, we've heard criticism from him from Republicans, should he be impeached over this?
Well, I believe so. I think he needs to be impeached. But again, the buck stops with President Biden. I'm sure that Secretary Mayorkas is doing exactly what the Biden administration wants him to do. His job, Secretary Mayorkas' job, is to keep America safe. He has not done so, first by the flow of illegal immigrants into our country, but second, a lot of people, forget about this. It's the fentanyl that's going in through the southern border that's killing tens of thousands of Americans every single year. 80 to 100,000 Americans are dying from this flow of fentanyl that is supplied by a multinational organization across the border, and we're doing absolutely nothing about it. That, to me, is actually even more critical because you see the impact on daily lives of Americans and taking the lives of Americans in their prime of their lifetime. There's 18 to 34-year-olds are dying. Over 200 of them are dying every single day from the fentanyl overdose, and the Biden administration does absolutely nothing about it.
So do you think then a step further?
Inexcusable.
So should President Biden then be impeached over the border policies, and now you're mentioning the fentanyl issue?
Well, one of the things you do when you're the president, you put up your right hand and you say you're going to uphold the Constitution, you're going to keep us safe. Well, obviously, he's not keeping us safe. When you got 80,000 to 100,000 Americans dying every year because you fail to do something about the flow of drugs that are coming through the southern border, and because of your policies that allows all these immigrants to come through, that means that there's less Customs and Border Protection agents to protect our southern border and stop this illegal flow from these multinational cartels from Mexico, and that you're doing absolutely nothing about getting to those multinational cartels from Mexico and combating them. That shows that's dereliction of duty. So yeah, I think so. Presidents have been impeached for far less than that.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. I want to go back to Peter Ducey here. I appreciate your time, Representative Carlos Jimenez from Florida.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
Christmas was just ruined. This was the worst Christmas ever. I wish it was not like this. The flight from Phoenix got delayed by 7 hours. Then they canceled my flight from Phoenix to Houston. So I'm here stuck at the airport. They were supposed to get my luggage back. I've been looking since last night. Luggage is nowhere to be found, and just stuck here. I mean, thousands of people have been stranded, flights canceled, and airport, the personnel don't have an idea. Whenever you ask them what's going on, they said, we don't know.
Wait, have you had a light will fry before?
What is a light will fry?
Irene Kim and Elliot Ha, two college students back home in the Bay Area on winter break, met up at the InAndOut in San Ramon on Christmas Eve to film a TikTok video. And then...
Are you filming yourself eating? Yeah. You're weird. Yeah.
They say another customer walked up to them asking questions, then making homophobic and racist remarks.
You're Kim Jong-un's boyfriend? I'm gonna get spit in your face and it's a Filipino.
Then the man tells them to meet him outside.
You can try the fry.
Irene says what you can't see in the TikTok she posted is the man staring at them through the window for 15 minutes after. She says they felt like the man was threatening them with violence. They waited till the restaurant closed and workers walked them safely to their car.
I think the thing that just had me shaking the most was when he told us to meet him outside and he just kept on staring at us.
As a Korean American growing up in Moraga, Irene said she's been on the receiving end of plenty of racist comments before, but she posted this video hoping others take notice.
I think also with the model minority myth, a lot of people don't take these kinds of situations very seriously. Wait, I'm sorry. But yeah, I think a lot of people don't end up taking a lot of these situations very seriously.
For every one act caught on camera, there's hundreds that go unchecked. So I'm really hoping that more awareness is brought to this.
Irene and Elliot want to raise awareness that the words we choose have power. Their video caught the attention of San Ramon's police chief, who Irene says has been messaging her on Twitter to learn more about what happened.